Stardew Valley has become one of my favorite games of all time. I've spent hundreds of hours playing it across multiple platforms. I've played it alone, I've played it with friends, and I've played it extensively with my daughter. To me, it's more than a cozy game, it's a comfort game. However, I never imagined this would be the case, and it took me years to jump on the bandwagon. I remember when Stardew Valley came out and it was getting a lot of buzz with its overwhelmingly positive Steam ratings and whatnot, but I took one look at it and said, really? What's the big deal? This is just a Harvest Moon ripoff with worse graphics. Why would I buy this when I can just go back and play Harvest Moon? You see, Harvest Moon, particularly Harvest Moon 64, was a favorite of mine growing up. I loved that game and I couldn't see a reason to give this copycat game any attention. But my buddy Steve, who was an even bigger Harvest Moon fan than myself, in fact he's the one who introduced me to the series back when we were kids, he had gotten into Stardew Valley much earlier and told me how good it was. But the one thing I remember him telling me about it that really surprised me was the combat. I had no idea there was combat in this game. You can fight monsters? Well, that's not something you could do in Harvest Moon. Maybe I will check it out. I still didn't immediately buy it though. In fact, it wasn't until I was scrolling through the App Store on my phone one day that I finally decided to give it a try. On mobile. And you know what? It's the best freaking mobile game I've ever played. I spent dozens of hours playing it on mobile before I finally picked it up on Steam, where I discovered the joy of co-op. I think my first time playing the PC version was during the pandemic. I played online co-op with Steve while chatting and catching up in quarantine. Sometime later, my daughter decided to get it on Switch, and I did too. We poured well over 100 hours into it together, basically completing the game and starting over several times, trying out different farmlands and game modifiers. This element of connectivity is one of the things that not only makes the game different, but makes it truly special. Cultivating not only crops, but memories with friends and family. It's why Stardew Valley has a special place in my heart today. I realize that I've been raving on and on without really saying anything about the game itself, but you probably already know all about it. It's a farming sim. You inherit a farm from your deceased grandfather, you quit your miserable job in the city and move out to the countryside to live as a farmer. You can grow crops, raise animals, mine rocks, go fishing, craft items, fight monsters, help the villagers with various things, get married, have kids, participate in festivals. There's a lot you can do in this game. And yes, it's 100% an homage to the Harvest Moon series. The developer himself has admitted this. The similarities are beyond obvious. But I wouldn't call it a ripoff anymore. It's a tribute. And it does many things that genuinely improve upon the formula set by its predecessors. One thing Stardew just gets right is the pacing. Yes, you can play at your own pace despite the passing of time each day, but the overall gameplay and the user interface are just so snappy and intuitive that it makes revisiting the old Harvest Moon games a bit difficult because they just feel slow and clunky in comparison. Traveling around the map in Stardew is pretty quick and stays enjoyable because there's always so much to find and so many things going on every day. There's just so much content packed into this game, and Concerned Ape has hinted that he might just keep on updating it for the rest of his life. Hey, if he keeps updating it, we'll keep playing it and buying it on new platforms. I've already bought it at least 3 times. On the graphics I said were unimpressive earlier, I was wrong on that too. Don't judge a game by its screenshots. Stardew is a beautiful game with so much character and charm. The music absolutely slaps too. I even bought the sheet music. This is just one of those rare games that will make me lose all concept of time, and I will actually lose sleep over it. Just let me play through one more day. Okay, one more. And then suddenly it's 2 a.m. and I remember I have to face another day in the real world in a couple hours. I could go on gushing about the game all day, but instead let me just touch on a couple of important lessons. First, to retouch on something I said earlier, don't judge a game harshly based on its screenshots. Screenshots do not do the game justice. Similarly, don't dismiss a game because its similarities with something else. Spiritual successors are a good thing. They're almost always made with passion and a deep love for the things they're imitating. And yes, Harvest Moon and Story of Seasons are still around, and so are many other farming sims. But man, this one just managed to do everything perfectly. It's improved and expanded the genre, and it's given us a truly unforgettable experience. Lastly, there's the other lesson. In the beginning of the game, you move to a rundown farm. It's a completely new life for you. You've left everything behind, and you have almost no money. All you have are some basic tools and a few seeds. It's hard to get ahead. It takes time. You're watering your seeds every day, waiting for your first crops to grow. Your backpack is small and can't hold much. You're running all over the place looking for anything you can sell for a few bucks. But as you keep grinding and time goes on, things start getting easier. Little by little, you improve your situation. You get stronger. You level up your skills. You work hard and invest your money in better equipment, livestock, etc. And one day you realize you have heaps of money coming in, more than you need. You have chickens, ducks, cows, pigs, goats, maybe even dinosaurs if you're lucky, all with automated self-feeding systems that reduce your workload. You have a huge field of crops that you don't have to water by hand anymore because you built a nice sprinkler system. You've revitalized the community center, filled the museum with artifacts, and you no longer need to spend time foraging for random items. Maybe you have a spouse and some kids. You've brought new life to Pelican Town and you've made your grandpa proud. And suddenly, you realize that the best part of the game is over. The grind to get to this point was what you really enjoyed. The sense of progression that was so addictive and satisfying is gone. Sure, you can keep playing forever, making subtle improvements to your farm, stacking heaps of cash and so on, but it can't compare to the fun you had when you were setting goals and struggling to make it. So what do? Start a new game and do it all over again. I've thought about this so many times in real life. So many times I felt like I was starting over with nothing to show. I remind myself that things won't always be this way. Things will get easier in time. I can get to where I want to be in life, but it's going to take an enormous amount of time and effort to get there. But I'm also reminded to enjoy the process, no matter how challenging it may be. Because the pursuit of something better, the process of growing as a person, and the interactions we have, the people we connect with along the way, are what really matter most. So there you go, just a rambling video that had something to do with Stardew Valley, a game I had absolutely no interest in whatsoever, but is now a perfect 10 out of 10 in my book. It's a game I'll continue to replay over and over again. Stepping into Pelican Town just warms my soul. It's good enough as a single player game, but add in the loads of great times I've had playing with others, it becomes that much more special. And you know what? I'm looking forward to trying out some other games that Stardew Valley has inspired. If you'd like to hear my take on some of them, consider leaving a comment and subscribing. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Enjoy the grind.